Hey, all, welcome back. Welcome to episode 18. Before we get into tonight's segment, I just wanted to share my deepest appreciation to every single one of you that was kind enough to subscribe, share, like, and comment on these videos. Now, when I mean appreciate, I'm talking about not just the positive feedback, but the negative feedback as well. Because all of that information was going to help me work on this channel more, know what I need to improve on, and of course, I want to be able to give you the best information I possibly can. So, on that, I do thank you all very much, and I appreciate you very much as well. Now, on with the segment. Now, today, we find out that our wonderful president, Joe Biden, made a surprise visit to the Ukraine, not only to meet Zelensky, but to meet with our other partners overseas to help improve relations in the ongoing effort against the Russians. Not only was it just a friendly visit, he took a check with him today, too. A check of $500 million. You're probably thinking, well, what's another $500 million in a war effort? Well, when you find out what that $500 million is being used for over there, it should piss you off. But before we go into those details, I want to get into something else. Now, I know many of you know that a couple weeks ago, there was a very large train derailment in Ohio. That derailment was basically caused an ecological disaster. Toxic chemicals released into the soil. The EPA needed to do a controlled burn, releasing all these hazardous fumes and chemicals into the air. A lot of that settled back down onto the ground, killing small animals, chickens, foxes, contaminating soil, getting into the Ohio River, costing billions of dollars in damages. Norfolk Southern was there with their kind hearts and their just generosity to all 20,000 citizens of that area. Offered them each $1,000 for their troubles and their worries and their pain. Not knowing if these hazardous chemicals that fell back to Earth would cause cancer, cause long-term disabilities. As we're seeing now, apparently there are some people that are reporting really weird rashes from the fallout of, these fires. It's disgusting. And the only reason some of the media is even touching on it is because they're being forced to. It's not out of want. It's out of necessity. And the reason it's out of necessity is because the information I'm about to give you about Biden's trip to Ukraine is something that they don't want you to hear about. And they don't want to hear you, complain about it either. They don't want to hear anybody complain about anything. They don't want us knowing the truth. I mean, the EPA comes out and says that the water is safe, the soil is safe, the air is safe. When was the last time that we could actually trust them and believe someone from the government? I can't remember. Now, think about this, folks. Today, our president goes to Ukraine with $500 million in aid. There are several articles out there that are not even touching on what the aid's being used for. Now, today I looked at an article from The Hill, and what we're going to do is go over a little bit of that. And I'm going to play you a couple clips, from this article. Now, as you can see, The Hill actually comes out and says that Biden announces $500 billion in more aid in military support. A surprise visit. You go through this article, you read the headline. It doesn't mention what this $500 million is being used for. Why not? But it says it right there in the headline. New military aid. What 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 could there be questioned? What, we're going to send more ammunition, some tanks? Man, what could they possibly use that $500 million for? I mean, if the residents of Ohio, who just recently had an ecological disaster, you know, can't get help from FEMA, don't you think that maybe, this $500 million would help in the cleanup of, this area? Nah. I mean, it is Norfolk Southern's responsibility. It is. It truly is. But still, but what about the people themselves? Hmm? So yes, 500 million more to the Ukrainians. Yeah, so a couple things might go up a few pennies, a couple half cents here and there. We're not going to notice it. Not at all. Now, in the clip I'm about to play for you, I really want you to listen to what he's saying. He's not talking about like another just one-time, you know, you know, stimulus or whatever you want to call it, or aid to the Ukrainians. He's not talking about just another one-time thing. No. Really listen to this, please.
Later, Kyiv stands, and Ukraine stands. Democracy stands. The Americans stands with you, and the world stands with you. We know that there'll be very difficult days and weeks and years ahead. But Russia's aim was to wipe Ukraine off the map.
Going to be rough years, days, and weeks. So we're in this for the long haul. We're going to be sending funds over there till it's over. I mean, what's next? I mean, we're already going to be sending, tanks, our very own tanks that are being delivered this spring, along with Germany. What's next? We're going to actually start donating fighter jets? Is that going to happen? What about that $500 million? I mean, think about that. The people in Ohio that could help, help these families that are being, they're going to be dislodged from their homes for a time being. Why they have to get the stuff cleaned up that has to be decontaminated. I mean, think about that property. You own a small piece of land, a small farm. Your soil's contaminated. Your house is contaminated. You can't sell the house. It's basically worthless. So these people are screwed. $500 million could be going to Ohio and helping these families. I mean, not just in Ohio. Think about right here in the state of Michigan, Flint, Michigan. All the billions of dollars that we've sent overseas in the last, we'll just say 2 years. A fraction of that could have rebuilt and completely redesigned the Flint water system. And they'd have clean drinking water. A fraction of it. But what they're doing right now is they're showing you what is more important to them. They're showing you that this war in Ukraine, the Ukrainian and Russian war, is more important than you. They're showing you how much you matter, how much we matter. Now, if you're not angry yet over this, you're about to be. Now, I know many of you are going to be like, oh no, it's Breitbart. It's a far right, conspiracy theory news outlet. Is it really? What do you say about those that are on the left that spout what they spout? I don't care who the news comes from. But when you bring receipts, you're bringing receipts. Listen to this. This is going to tell you what that $500 million is being used for. If you ain't pissed, you're about to be.
Deliver much needed humanitarian assistance as well as food, water, medicine, shelter, and other aid to Ukrainians displaced by Russia's war, and provide aid for those seeking refuge in other countries from Ukraine. It's also going to help schools and hospitals open. It's going to allow pensions and social support to be paid to the Ukrainian people so they have something in their pocket. It's also going to provide critical resources to address food shortages around the globe.
I want you to hear that again.
Much needed humanitarian assistance as well as food, water, medicine, shelter, and other aid to Ukrainians displaced by Russia's war, and provide aid for those seeking refuge in other countries from Ukraine. It's also going to help schools and hospitals open. It's going to allow pensions and social support to be paid to the Ukrainian people so they have something in their pocket. It's also going to provide critical resources to address food shortages around the globe and to deliver much needed humanitarian assistance as well. It's going to allow pensions and social support to be paid to the Ukrainian people so they have something in their pocket.
Yeah, you heard that right. That $500 million is going to be going to pay pensions in the Ukraine. Is that what you voted for? Many of us here are struggling to put enough money away so that we can retire and not have to live on Social Security. And you wonder why Social Security is in the position that it is in today. All these billions of dollars going overseas, funding wars. You voted for this man. You voted for these policies. I mean, I'm sure since you voted for him, you're for 100% of everything he's doing, right? So you voted for this. You voted to give, your Social Security away, your child's Social Security away. You voted to pay someone else's retirement in another country. That's what you voted for. Just because you didn't want to vote for a bully, someone who didn't, articulate his words properly, or someone you said was a racist, which has been proven time and time again he's not. Look around you. Look at the inflation around you. These are Joe Biden's policies. And you're about to pay a Ukrainian citizen's retirement plan. You are. I am. But hey, that's what you want to do. If, these are the people you want to continue to vote for, go for it. Go for it. Eventually, you're probably thinking, oh, it's not going to matter in my time. I'll be long and dead when, all this stuff. Okay, but what about your kids? What about your grandkids? I mean, it's a wonder that China hasn't taken us over yet. It's not like, here in the United States, we look at week to week, month to month, maybe next year. Nah, see, that's the thing. You have other societies out there, they don't think in such short terms like that. Not like us here in the United States. We're talking like they make 30-year plans, generational plans. They're letting us eat ourselves alive, and we're doing it with stupid little things like this. Yes, helping, those that are trying to get out of the war-torn areas. Yes, I can understand helping the refugees and, global hunger. Okay, and spouting or spewing from this situation. But really, we're going to put money in Ukrainian citizens' pockets So they have money to spend. We did that. That's us. Did you get a phone call from your representative, your congressman? Did you get a letter in the mail asking for our thoughts on it, if we should do it? You do not matter to your government. And you're going to say, well, yeah, I know that. Well, apparently you don't care either. Because all you're doing is destroying your family's future by voting for people like him. But that's what you want to do. Go ahead. Go ahead. I ain't going to stop you. I can't stop you. But you're right. And just like it's my right here to tell you that I don't agree with you at all for voting for this man, this administration, these policies. He's done everything that we have told you he was going to do. And you refuse to listen. But that's okay. That's okay. Because eventually, it's going to knock on your door too, and it's going to affect your home. And most of you don't care because, oh, if it's not affecting me at my home, I don't care who's in office, as long as I'm doing good. Well, good luck with that. So on that, kids, yeah, so kiss another $500 million goodbye. And yeah, you just paid for some Ukrainian's retirement plan. Yep. That's what you just did by voting for this man. Mm-hmm. And that's our president. That's our government. It's amazing. And the majority of you will end up voting for him again because you are not paying attention to what's going on around you or what's going on out there. Like, again, your choice. Be the misinformed voter. Be the uninformed voter. That's all on you. But on that, I will talk to you guys later. Hopefully you got something out of this. If you didn't, oh well. Okay. I guess I didn't deliver it well enough. But we'll see what happens next time. I'll talk to you soon. Say your prayers, take your vitamins. Be good little Hulksters. Good night.